Hey guys, this is Chris with All NBA Hoops. Sam's back for our episode 3 or 4.
I think this is week 4.
Yeah, week 4.
You held it down last week.
Yeah, I held it down the fort last week. Once again, we're tinkering with the format every week. This week, we're going to go through each division, about a minute or so each. You know, they can fluctuate, and we're just going to talk about it, get through our division, and just share what happened this past week.
Exactly.
So we'll start off in the Atlantic division. If you want to take that off, Sam.
Got Toronto up at the top. The only team above 500. Toronto's looking good, looking like one of the most solid teams.
Yeah, they played my Jazz the other night on a back-to-back after Trey Burke shot against the Knicks.
With Terrence Ross's nasty throwdown dunk.
Oh, yeah. So Toronto looked really good. DeRozan, Alec Burks had a tough time guarding him.
Yep.
He's one of the best offensive twos in the game right now, especially with other twos like Dwayne Wade, a little injury prone right now.
And the league, the shooting guards league-wide being a little diluted
down,
right
definitely. Another team to talk about, I noticed this. Boston's looking more competitive this year.
Yeah,
with Rondo looks healthy. He makes all his teammates better.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw, they were playing the Cavs the other day, and they had a chance to win it. Actually, Rondo ran out of time on the shot clock or time management there. But it's good to see Boston being competitive. Brooklyn also being competitive as well. D. Will's looking a lot better than he did the past couple years.
Looking like an all-star, a real legitimate all-star. Winning that Conference Player of the Week. Continuing to hold down the fort. They're 4-5 right now, but that should pick up.
Yeah, in the East, that might be good enough to get you in the playoffs, that winning percentage. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
And then we got the Knicks and Philadelphia in the basement right now.
Yeah, they both are terrible right now. I mean, Philly is definitely in the bottom of any kind of team that's ever been in history right now. I have a hard time seeing them winning more than 5 games. At first I said 10. Now I'm going to the 5 mark.
It's going to be right around there. They look horrible.
Yeah, especially if they trade some at the trade deadline, they do a fire sell. Yeah. If they have anything to sell, not sure.
Michael Carter-Williams, they were listening to offers this summer, and then Tony Romo.
You know where Jason Richardson is either. He's somewhere. Not sure where. But
it'll be an interesting division.
And then quickly on New York, they're the triangle. They're also game against the Jazz, but that was his best game of the season. He hasn't had a performance like, there hasn't been any performances like that by him. He was shooting something like, I think 39% or low 40%.
No, he's in the 30s right now.
Yeah, so he's been struggling. It'll take him a while. New coach, rookie coach. Derek Fisher is still learning. If you saw him, he made that mistake the other day.
Calling timeout for J.R. Smith on the 3, and then a couple other.
Yeah, so J.R. made a shot, and Fisher called a timeout. It was really funny, actually. And he made the shot, and it was, a rookie coach mistake.
Yep.
So we'll move on to the Central. Chicago is looking great, even with all this talk about Derrick Rose sitting out his 6th game of the season.
Which is, I'm going to go on record as saying that all the controversy surrounding Derrick Rose is ridiculous. The man is being responsible. You might not think that basketball is a contact sport like football. The long-term ramifications are not the same. But the man's just trying to live his life in the best way he possibly can. So get off his back.
Yeah, so I saw a quote today. I think it was Gilbert Arenas. He was talking about Derrick Rose. He basically said he's a Lambo engine running on spare tires right now. Yeah. I mean, it's true. Like, he's trying his best. He's trying his best to stay healthy, and he's going to have to sit out some games this year, which is fine. Chicago's doing awesome without him.
7-3.
And they've been used to playing without him for the past couple of years.
Absolutely.
So I have no doubt if Derrick Rose only played 40 games this year, they would still make the playoffs.
Yep, and have him fresh for the playoff run. Cleveland up
looking
next.
better after that Gordon Hayward shot that, the shot heard around the world. Cleveland's really, put it together. We saw some good wins against Boston. Who else did we
we saw the good win against Boston, and then last night they blew out Atlanta, I believe.
Yes.
And that was quite a dominant performance from LeBron James. Specifically sat out the 3rd quarter. They sat out the 4th quarter, but still finished with 32, 7, and 6 or something like that. Low on turnovers, looking good on the defensive end. That team is going to
They're going to be there. They're going to be top 2 in the East for sure.
There should have been no controversy about whether they were going to figure it out offensively. Defensively, they have a long way to go, but they are going to be able to score with the best of them.
And one more because of Indiana, Detroit, they're both struggling. Milwaukee's a surprise in the NBA. Especially offensively, they're one of the top offensive teams right now. My boy David Locke mentioned this. Their offensive rating is, I think it's top 5.
Yeah.
And Brandon I don't know if this is, so it's his work of, All those guys.
Yeah.
Jason Kidd also.
Yeah, doing a good job as a coach.
I mean, he's a point guard. He knows how to run. He knew how to run offense when he played.
Absolutely.
So obviously, you think it's going to translate, and it's showing right now. The first 10 games. We'll move on to the Southeast Division. If you want to.
Another solid division. We got Washington leading the division with Atlanta, Miami, Charlotte, and Orlando in that order. The worst team being Orlando. They're only 4-7, and we've seen, as we've discussed, Vucevic looking great. Other pieces, Tobias Harris scoring, even with Elfrid Payton and Aaron Gordon out. Unfortunately, they're going to be a playoff team, but a solid team this year. Something to build on. Atlanta, we discussed, got blown out. Miami has regressed a little bit. They're on a 3-game losing streak right now.
Dwayne Wade has sat out a couple games.
Right, and Chris Bosh did not look very good last night.
Look to see them, get together about midway through the season. Dwayne Wade's going to sit out his games.
Still a very solid and deep.
Yeah, when they get to the playoffs, they're going to be dangerous, regardless of what seed they are.
Yeah.
If they played the Cavs, like 8th seed versus 1 seed, something like that, it would be a great series just because of all the veteran leadership they have.
You'd hope to see the Hornets in that division doing a little better than they are right now. They got some growing pains going on. Lance, of course, is averaging a double points, rebounds.
They're shooting like 36%.
Yeah, not great.
So if he can get that up, he's going to have a good season. But for now, they need him to step up.
And we need Big Al getting rebounds. Lance, I love that you're getting 10 boards, but Big Al needs to be snagging some of those from you.
Yeah, that's true. One note on Orlando. Sam mentioned Aaron Gordon. He has a stretch fracture in his foot, and he's going to be out indefinitely. Mm-hmm. And that's really disappointing, especially with this rookie class. Yeah. We all expected them to be, instant impact players. And we kind of see that, they're going to struggle. And
just like any rookies.
We have Gordon being out with injury. We have Randall being out in L.A.
And Wiggins and Parker averaging about 10 points. They're almost identical stats if you look at them with Wiggins' field goals a little bit farther up. But it's a rookie class. They're growing. They're all going to be good. Washington, they're going to be really good.
We expected them to be, top 3, top 4.
Mm-hmm. Brad Beal out, and still they're on a 3-game win streak.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. When they get him back, he's a very solid player, can shoot, spread the court, and very compliments John Wall.
One of my favorite players to watch in the league, absolutely.
So we'll move on to the Northwest Division in the Western Conference. This division is actually, with OKC and all their injuries, it's definitely, almost flipped over. You
Denver looks like
horrible.
Garbage.
Yes. And Minnesota, they've had injuries, Thad Young and Ricky Rubio. You saw that sprained ankle, really bad sprain. So they've definitely taken a hit after starting off pretty good, about 500.
Yeah.
A surprise, Portland. Not making a lot of moves in the offseason, but continuing to play well.
4-game win streak right now after starting a little sluggish.
To begin the Damian Lillard's finally coming on. He's shooting. I think he has a shooting percentage up to 44%, which is right about his averages.
Yeah, we saw the battle of the Lopez's last night, which was a little fun sideshow. But really, it was about just how good that Blazers team is playing. They're moving the ball really well. Their offensive output and defensive output are both top 10 in the league, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Their starting 5 is as far as per goes, the performance is one of the best in the league.
Yes.
And they played the most minutes together, I think, over any starting 5, at least last year. So it's definitely a very cohesive group.
That was a result of their bench being really weak. And we'll see as the season goes on.
They're going to need that bench. That's going to be a very key component for them to make big moves in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They need McCollum to really step up and be that backup, that 6th man.
Mo Williams upgraded.
Hopefully.
We'll see. Mo Williams he's a very underrated player in this league. We both love him, and that was a risky move getting rid of him.
And real quick on Utah, their offense is looking really great. They're I think David Locke said they were top 10 in the league right now. So that's a result of the coaching change and Quinn Snyder, that fast-paced offense. You see Gordon Hayward. This new system is really benefiting him. He's about a 25-5 guy right now. He's off by a couple decimal points, but he's shooting 47%.
Yeah, much better than last
season. As a 3, that is really great. Mm-hmm. We hope to see him continue this play. Derek Favors is also playing well.
And when they rotate Trevor Booker into the lineup as the 3 and have Gordon defending 2s, that's a great defensive setup for them to have Derek Favors and maybe to hide Enes Kanter a little bit on defense. And they got Rudy Gobert off the bench. Exum playing well. Trey Burke needs to step it up.
Right. You saw his game winner against the Knicks, but overall this season, Trey has been a disappointment, not shooting well. One more thing on Utah. When Gordon's out of the game, they're struggling to find offense. He has such a big effect on the offense with his passing skills and being able to create his own shot. So they need to solve this issue if they want to, kind of stay where they're at in this Northwest Division.
When he and Favors play, there's no doubling. They can go out.
So we'll move on to the Pacific Division. We have Golden State, Steve Kerr. They're playing great.
Doing work.
Harrison Barnes back in the starting lineup. And Iguodala moved to the bench. So we kind of see their roles kind of reversing this year.
And their production as well, flipping in just the same way that it was last year. Hopefully Iggy, not for the Suns' sake, being a Suns fan, but hopefully Iggy does step it up just as a fan of basketball. I'd love to see that from him.
Yeah, the Clippers, 5-3 record. They're they've been up and down, but as
putting it together,
they're
slowly.
putting it together. They have all the pieces to make a run for the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Doc Rivers, great coach. Griffin expanding his game, so they've been pretty solid this year. Not anything amazing, but they'll get it together. And the surprise this year is Sacramento in this division.
Boogie for MVP.
Boogie's playing great. Rudy Gay is being very effective and efficient.
He just got an extension.
He did,
I believe.
And it was a 3-year, $40 million deal with a player option or team option the last year.
Yeah, not quite what he's making right now, but still.
So if he keeps up this play, it's going to be a bargain. It's going to turn out to be a bargain. It's really good for Sacramento to keep that piece. They kind of shocked me trading for him, but if he can play at that level, they can potentially. I could see them making the playoffs.
They're young enough to have a core that they can roll with for a while. You got Collison locked up on that deal. Boogie Cousins, and as we mentioned, Rudy Gay, along with some other good pieces.
McLemore is finally playing basketball. It's really exciting. He was good at Kansas. Some people called him the next Ray Allen, which his first years in the league he didn't really show that, but now he's showing that shooting touch, and that will really help.
And that athleticism.
Definitely, that will really help the Kings. We'll talk about Phoenix. They've been up and down. They have that triple guard lineup. They're still figuring it out.
One guard will be on every game, but not two or three, and they're a tough team to figure out right now. The Morris brothers are fun to watch, but we'll come back to them a little later when there's some more clarity in what they really are, because we're not sure right now.
And the Lakers struggling. They're going to be a bottom 5 team. We hope Kobe doesn't get hurt. Kobe's shooting every shot. I'm sure he's frustrated with his team. You have Boozer and Lynn, not good defenders. Basically, those are the best players, his best teammates on the team, and that sucks because they have 1-9 record, and there's not a good outlook for them this season.
He deserves just a little more at this point in his career.
And real quick, I saw a prospective deal. This is by ESPN. They always do this, but they had him going to the Warriors. And I know everyone in LA doesn't want this to happen. Kobe doesn't want this to happen, but it'd be kind of interesting to see Kobe go to a playoff team and see what he can do in the playoffs.
Take the scoring load off. If Kobe is what would he be? You got Klay Thompson and Steph Curry.
Honestly, I think he would play a better Iguodala role. Like I don't know if they would start him. I think they would start him over Barnes, but he would be he would be able to distribute in that offense. He would draw a lot of attention in his post ups. Yeah. It'd be interesting. Probably not going to happen, but we can
food for thought.
Yeah, food for thought. And our last division, the Southwest Division,
strong,
very strong.
Only division with every team above 500. It's amazing.
This division is just nuts,
and it looks just like it's going to stay that way. San Antonio is actually 5th in the division right now, and that tells you about all you need to know.
That is the strength of this division. We have 2 teams at 9-1, the best teams in the NBA right now. They play tonight. I really want to watch that game.
Houston bringing in their undefeated road record versus the Memphis's undefeated home record. We'll see who loses their undefeated streak tonight.
Dallas looking great as well.
Tyson Chandler throwing down. Oops. If you want to watch a fun team, Dirk Nowitzki spreading the floor. Tyson Chandler throwing down oops. Monte Ellis running the break. They look great.
Yeah, Cuban, basically what happened, they won that championship. He didn't sign back his players, Tyson, Barea. Yeah. And basically he got them all back this season, and everyone's looking great.
Yep.
And really fun to watch, too. Dirk is playing all-star level, like we're used to seeing.
Yep. Speaking of power forwards, if we're going to move on to the next team, Anthony Davis
MVP.
Yeah, and it's not. I honestly don't think it's close. I mentioned Boogie Cousins for MVP before, and he's having a great season, but right now.
The only person I see taking that away from him is if LeBron and the Cavs have the best record in the East, and LeBron's having a typical LeBron year. It'll be hard. If New Orleans, is a bottom playoff team or they miss the playoffs, but Davis is still putting up these numbers.
And there's voter fatigue too. People don't even though LeBron's definitely the best player in the league and in the world at this point, people don't want to keep voting for him for MVP. I'm of the mind that the best player should get the award, but I totally understand where voters come from.
Yeah, we're really hoping Anthony Davis, continues to play and wins this MVP.
Please, no injuries.
Yeah, injury history, his first couple seasons. So we hope stays healthy, keeps getting these blocks, rebounds, and points. It's really amazing to watch.
Stuff in the stat sheet.
And our last team we'll talk about is San Antonio. Their offense has not been a top offense this year.
No.
A little strange. It is early. Kawhi missed the first couple games.
Right.
He's still getting his stride. You never want to doubt the Spurs,
right?
Ever, as history has shown. So I think they're going to get together.
I just don't know how. It's going to be a shame when some of these teams miss the playoffs, and because we have some lackluster division winners. Hopefully, it doesn't go down that way, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, I'd never want to doubt Popovich. Those guys are, especially with that beard now.
Tony Parker's still looking good. Like, really, check him out. He and Pop running the show. Timmy and Manu taking a little more of a back seat. That we saw Manu take a lot of shots the other night.
He did.
He might be there. He's always been their instant offense guy, but it's been kind of a shock to watch the plays that they're running for him. So San Antonio, even though they're last in the division, still 5-4 and looking good.
Yeah. So we went through all the divisions. Think about this format. I kind of like it better. We kind of can talk about the teams and how they compare with others. If you have any questions, feel free to comment.
Email, Twitter, YouTube, we're everywhere. We do have a Facebook page. Same title as we have here on our YouTube page. So please leave us a message or leave us some feedback. We would love to hear about it. And this is another edition of All NBA Hoops.
All right. Peace, guys.
Thank you.